Alien Queen froze in shock as a human took out 3 elite aliens with just a rock. They told her humans were weak, primitive, predictable. Queen Virellia of the Tarskai Empire had believed it. Why wouldn't she? Her elite guards had been steel, moved faster than sound, and wield plasma blades that could cut through tanks. The Tarskai ruled over dozens of worlds, their might unmatched, their warriors proud. Humans, to her, were little more than clever animals with technology they barely understood. Then she met him, and everything changed. The battlefield was supposed to be secured. The outpost on planet Sindari. 9 had fallen days ago, its population scattered or subdued. The Queen had arrived in person to oversee the final cleansing of resistant cells, accompanied by her most trusted warriors, 3 of the Empire's most dangerous, Commander Crawl, Rayseer Dolan, and the Blade Mistress herself, Ziva. And then, in the ruins of the old mining station, she saw the human, alone, standing atop a pile of rubble, unarmed. His clothes were torn, one eye swollen shut, and his right hand bled from a fresh cut. He looked barely alive. Queen Virellia didn't even bother drawing her weapon. She merely raised a hand to her guards. Deal with him. Crawl surged forward first. The towering brute moved like a charging beast, power armor clanking with each step. You will kneel, human. But the human didn't move, didn't flinch. He only glanced at the ground, picked up a jagged stone the size of his palm, and flung it. It hit Crawl directly in the visor. Crack. Everyone expected a harmless bounce. Instead, Crawl's helmet sparked violently, and the warrior stumbled backward. A second later, his massive form crumpled to the ground. Dead. Virellia blinked. What? Dolan hissed and vanished into the shadows, her cloaking field activating. The Wraithseer, trained to kill from the unseen corners of reality, circled behind the human in seconds. She reappeared with her blade inches from his neck, but the human ducked. No warning, no sound, no hesitation. He dropped to the ground and swung the rock upward in a blind arc. It struck Dolan under the chin with a sickening crunch. Her head snapped back, her body following, collapsing into a pile of limp armor. The Queen's breath caught in her throat. 2 of her elite, down in under 10 seconds, by a man holding nothing but a rock. Ziva snarled and drew her twin plasma blades. I will gut you slowly. Maybe, the human replied, but I only need one more shot. He faked left, then rolled right, grabbing a second rock on the move. Ziva slashed, cutting deep into his side, but he powered through the pain and smashed the stone into her shoulder. Sparks flew as her armor cracked. She roared, swinging again, but he slipped under her guard and slammed the rock into her temple. Once, twice, she dropped like the others. Silence. Queen Virellia stood frozen, her claws clenched involuntarily. Never, not once in her entire reign, had she seen anything like this. The human turned to her, breathing hard, bleeding badly. He looked like a man barely holding on. You're not supposed to be able to do that, she said at last. They were elite. I didn't read the manual, he muttered, collapsing to one knee. She stepped forward, hand hovering near her weapon. Who are you? Name's Cole. No rank. Doesn't matter anymore. He looked up at her. I was a miner before all this. Worked on planets like this one. Learned how to survive. Learned where to hit. That stone. He motioned to the bloodied rock. Not just a rock. Compressed Sindari quartz. Sharp. Dense. Hit a helmet right. It overloads the internal systems. And the stealth warrior? She breathes. He pointed to his ear. You can hear it if you're calm. I listened, then guessed. You guessed? He coughed. Yeah, I got lucky. But sometimes that's enough. Queen Virellia studied him. Not a soldier, not even a rebel leader, just a man who refused to die. Something stirred in her, curiosity, yes, but more than that, respect. You know I should kill you, she said. I know. She circled him slowly. You humiliated me, killed 3 of my finest. Just trying to stay alive. I could end you right now. You could. He met her eyes. But I don't think you will. Why not? Because if I can do that with a rock, imagine what others like me could do. If we're desperate, if we're angry, you might win a war, queen, but you'll never win the people. She went still. In her culture, no one dared speak to her that way. But this man, this human, spoke without fear. And the worst part? He was right. This wasn't a war the Tarskai could truly win. Not if every human was like this. Not if a man with no armor, no rank, and no weapon could take down her elites with nothing but stone and fury. You changed something today, Cole, she said finally. He nodded weakly. Didn't mean to, just wanted to live. You've done more than that. She turned away from him, calling in her command ship. Within moments, Tarskai soldiers arrived, weapons drawn, only to halt in confusion at the sight of the fallen elites. Take him, she ordered, but do not harm him. He is not a prisoner. He is a message. Message, my queen? One soldier asked. She didn't answer. Not yet. Cole was brought aboard her warship. Not in chains, but in a private medical bay, where robotic arms stitched his wounds and cleaned the blood from his skin. Queen Virellia watched from the other side of the glass. Something inside her shifted. She had believed strength came from power, dominance, fear. But Cole had shown another kind of strength, one born of desperation, instinct, and human will. And in that strength, she saw the future. She summoned her council. This war, she said, is not what we believed it to be. We fight to subjugate, but we are forging enemies more dangerous than armies. If one human with a rock can destroy 3 of our best, then what will happen when their world truly rises? Silence. No one dared disagree. I will speak to their leaders, she said, not as a conqueror, but as an equal. Weeks later, as diplomatic envoys crossed star systems, as ceasefires were drawn in the ashes of once burning worlds, Queen Virellia met Cole once more, this time on Earth. He wore a simple shirt. He still walked with a limp, but he stood straight. You came, he said. I did. You're not here to finish what you started? She shook her head. No, you showed me something I can't forget, and neither will history. He smiled faintly. I'll never look at a rock the same way. She smiled back. Neither will I. And so it was written that in the middle of a vast and terrible war, the course of history changed, not through a grand battle, not through a royal decree, but because one human picked up a rock and refused to fall.